Hello everyone, in this tutorial we will learn about the electron transfer chain during aerobic respiration. Usually, aerobic respiration occurs over 4 stages. We have the glycolysis, the link reaction, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transfer chain. By the end of the third stage, which is the Krebs cycle, a molecule of glucose entering the aerobic pathway is completely broken down. However, by this stage, only a small part of energy is released from glucose. Most of the energy will be released in the electron transfer chain by using coenzymes NAD and FAD. So let's observe how it will happen. Here is a section through the inner membrane of the mitochondria. The electron transfer chain, which will take place inside the membrane of crystal, separates the mitochondrial matrix from the intermembrane space. The electron transport chain consists of several carriers that are embedded through the membrane of crystal with an ATP synthase. The first two carriers can accept electrons and protons, while the other three carriers can accept electrons only. So let us see what happens when the reduced NAD coming from the products of glycolysis, link reaction, and Krebs cycle enters the electron transport chain. As you can see, this reduced NAD releases the protons and electrons to the first carrier. And this will release energy that will phosphorylate a molecule of ADP into ATP. And now the electrons and protons will be transferred to the second carrier. Then the protons will be pumped into the intermembrane space, while the electrons continue moving through the carriers. Now these electrons will release some of the energy that will phosphorylate another ADP molecule into ATP. You should know that the concentration of hydrogen ions is increased in the intermembrane space, making it more acidic, allowing H ions to diffuse through a special protein called the ATP synthase. It is in this direction where H ions pass through the ATP synthase so that ADP combines with a phosphate to form ATP. Afterwards, oxygen will accept the electrons and the protons, forming a water molecule. Then the reduced FAD from the Krebs cycle will also bring the hydrogen and electrons to the electron transport chain. However, they will release them to the second carrier. As you can see here, and the electrons will then pass through the carriers and will phosphorylate ADP into an ATP. Then, hydrogen ions will diffuse through the ATP synthase, forming a water molecule.